Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, welcome, everyone. My name is Dyann Castro-Wehr, and I'm your service assistant today. And I want to welcome you to our fourth Sunday Contemplative Service. Frank is going to come on up and tell us a little bit about what's in store for our service today.
I'm Reverend Frank, for those who haven't met me. And today, kind of a theme for the year has been harmony. And so we wanted to look at harmony and the power of order and how that shows up in our life and what we can see in nature and how that supports us in our life. And should I do announcements on too? And I want to mention just a few announcements. We're going to do announcements now instead of at the end. So this is a big weekend coming up. And this Friday, for those of you who've not been to one of our 1930s radio shows, kind of the players are back, Kathy Murray, and they're doing Casablanca, the show. So it's $10. You can get tickets online or you can get them at the door. But that'll be next Friday at, well, check the time. I don't know. There's a whole flyer for it back there. For Saturday, the next day, for those of you who have been interested in Reiki or have attended a Reiki session or want to learn more, Jeremy is doing a level 1 Reiki training, and that's from 9 till
9:30 to 1:30, and I got a text last night that we have a full class.
Oh, 9:30 to 1, so it's full. So never mind, get it next time. Okay.
November or December.
Okay.
Because it sounds like
There's interest, yeah. Yeah, I've done it. It's just incredible, yeah. Jeremy does an incredible job at supporting it. And it's just been great for the whole community that you do that, so thank you. And then on Sunday, next Sunday starts our auction, which will go for 3 Sundays, the first 3 Sundays, and we'll have auction items around the room, and that'll be fun. And it's sort of kicking off, next Sunday will be first Sunday of the month, which means potluck, and we're going to call that our gratitude potluck as sort of a way to thank everybody who was so supportive during the convention that was a couple weeks ago, where we had 92 Unity ministers and leaders here, and it was fabulous. So we want to find a way to say thank you. So please come to that service and that potluck so we can thank you. Also, there's a sign-up sheet starting next week. It's my minister's class, and it's a book called Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. And what people have said, like for a lot of the classes, it's interesting, and I suppose it's theological, but it reads like a novel. This lady's been a fundraiser for a hunger group around the world in her stories, and what she's seen as far as the workings of money as a blessing to the planet and a blessing to us and how it works, and it doesn't matter how much, it matters the consciousness. And it's a great story about the consciousness of our abundance and how that works in our life. So sign-up sheets, we'll do a Tuesday night Zoom and a Wednesday night live. And if you want to go, but those dates don't work for you, then let me know. And maybe there's something else we'll do. But we want to make sure it works for everybody. And interestingly, it's about consciousness. So there's a cost, but don't let money be a hindrance or a problem. That's because it's about the consciousness of abundance. That's what it's about. So if you want to come, we'll find a way for you to attend. By the way, if anyone has photos of the convention, we're uploading them to some of our website. If you've got photos you want to share, talk to me or send them to me or email them to me before we forget and they get buried in our photo list like mine do. Also, if you donated, if you brought one of your lawn chairs, they're all lined up in the hallway, so be sure to grab your lawn chair. And finally, a couple things. Helga's chaplain today. So after service, if you'd like a moment of private confidential prayer, you can go to our chaplain room over here and you can meet Helga for a moment of prayer. And just to note, we did mention last time, Sonia was here. She mentioned that she would collect any funds for the families that she personally knows and has been communicating with in Gaza. The money we sent and other monies, there's 5 families that have received that money and they got out of the zone where the conflict is most intense right now. And they reported that they're safe, and they say, thank you so much for the support to help them move and stay in a safe area. And we'll send blessings for the UN to be involved with tents, food, and all that's needed to support people. And consciousness for harmony in the region. Yeah.
Can this be real? Can this be real? This life we are living. Can this be real? Can this be real? Can this be real? This life we are living. Can this be real? All forces have been steadily employed to complete and delight me. Now I stand on this spot with my soul. All forces have been steadily employed to complete and delight me. Now I stand on this spot with my soul. Can this be real? Can this be real? This life we are living. Can this be real? Can this be real? Can this be real? This life we are living. Can this be real? Can this be real? Can this be real? This life we are living. Can this be real?
As we move to a time of short reflection, we're going to take a few minutes to arrive there by doing a few movements with our body to ground and to bring us into the room more fully. And so what we're going to do is do some hand motions. And Frank is going to be the seated leader here and give you an idea of what we're doing. And the phrase we're going to say is, I am here now. And we're going to do a hand motion that starts across the chest. That's I, and then right at our shoulders, am here. Here we are in this space. And now, hands in the lap. Now. So it's, I am here now. We'll do this a few times together to begin our time of reflection. I am here now. I am here now. I am here now. I'm going to go really slow on the last one. I am here now. Here we are, each of us, in this moment now. This experience we are creating today is happening because we are here together. Each of you bring your presence, and this presence contributes to the experience we're all sharing. And so from this place of presence, we pause for a moment to think of anyone who is on our hearts and our minds right now who might be in need of a prayer, in a need of some healing support right now. So we send our prayer and our blessing to them. And I invite you to say their names out loud or just to hold their name in your heart. We see wholeness, goodness, grace, and the healing power of presence surrounding them now. Right now. And as we shift our focus, we sink a little deeper into a short reflection on the power of order. And this reflection comes to us adapted from Linda Martella Whitsett. Sitting comfortably in your chairs, we focus on order manifesting in our bodies, inside of us right now. Bones, muscles, skin, vortexes of nerves and energy, all organized for our physical vitality and strength here on this earth we walk on. Breath flowing in and out, slowly, effortlessly. Feel the heart beating rhythmically, steadily, so faithfully. Divine order is present in my body right now. Concentrating my attention on my body, I look behind my navel. I put my attention there. This, my body's center for activating order. I shine the light of order around my digestive organs and throughout the linked, integrated, and well-ordered system in my body. I take a few moments to allow this light to shine and emanate throughout the systems within my body. Order is here. Order is my name and my nature. I am the power of order, and I connect with my innate sense of direction. Yes, my innate sense of direction. I naturally attune to the magnificent source, the one mind from which all ideas flow. I catch divine ideas and I bring them to life. I manifest by the power of order. I adjust my power and my attention as needed. I sense where to place my attention, shift my mindset, or correct my course. This is within me. I but listen and attune. I am the evolving power of order, awakened by an ever-evolving consciousness. I incorporate the best of my past into my present, and I reach naturally toward a fuller, more enlightened future. By the power of order, I follow a clear path. I go through open doors. I choose orderly thoughts and orderly action. I bring about order moment by moment, choice by choice. I live my power of order.
maybe you can raise your shoulders to your ears. Drop. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Take one more deep breath. Delicious, right? Just delicious. Can this be real? Yeah, it is. You know, this power of order, we oftentimes, a synonym for that is harmony. And in unity, it was great. You were quoting Linda Martell at Whitsett, who's, I was having lunch one day at Unity Village, and she walked up and sat next to me, didn't know who she was. She says, I sit with you? I'm like, sure, I don't know who you are. She was president of Silent Unity, and she started talking, and I was like, wow. She knew the principles, right? And you can hear that in that sense of, her sense of understanding these 12 principles. When I say the 12 principles, I'm referring to the 12 powers of humanity. If you're newer to unity, the 12 powers, like what are those? We talk about the different ones: faith and power and strength and love and life, wisdom, elimination. All these powers that come in imagination, zeal, But the one we're focusing on today is order. And as she mentioned, it's located, the Fillmore is located, that energy in your body, like right at the navel. This power of order, this power of harmony. I want to say a couple things, because I'm going to talk about three different holy texts, if you will, three different traditions, and we're going to put them together. I'm going to do a little bit from my master teacher, Jesus of Nazareth, who's my teacher, the master in unity tradition. You might call it, people say, well, what kind of Christianity is unity? Practical Christianity? Metaphysical Christianity? And sometimes Richard Rohr, he's starting to talk, if you know Richard Rohr, the Franciscan, he's talking about contemplative Christianity, trying to find a way to go, what was this master teaching? Maybe it's the master's Christianity, the master's teaching of here's what it's like for the Christ principle that was expressed so well through Jesus of Nazareth, how that shows up. And in unity, they talked about the Christ, which you could say, it was not Jesus' last name, right? Jesus expressed that Christ energy so well. And within that energy, there's patterns. There's pieces that show up. One of them is order and harmony. And it's not like the 12 powers, 1 + 1 + 1, all equals 12, and that equals the Christ. Each of the powers is full unto itself, a full expression of the divine. In unity, I tend to not talk about a God as an object, rather as principle and power and an actual living essence that is the truth of my nature and your nature and the nature of all of it. And one fully aspect of this divine presence is harmony and order. There's a piece that comes from early on. It's called the Gospel of John. And it's the very first part. It's quite beautiful. And you probably know it. In the beginning was the Word. And when they said word, it came from a Greek word which meant logos. In the beginning was the Logos. Here's what the Fillmore say about the law of the Logos. The law, the Logos, is divine creation that produces order and harmony. Order and harmony. That's one way to look at this thing that the Greeks had. In the beginning was the Logos. In the beginning was the harmony. In the beginning was the order. In the beginning was how the pattern fits. How it all comes together in one pattern, and you can see it and feel it, and it outflows. In the beginning was harmony. And by the way, many of you have seen, I kind of don't talk about rights and wrongs too much. I don't find that always so useful. Rather, what I enjoy is like is that in harmony? Or am I sensing disharmony? And when I look at something, I go, how can I be part of harmonizing the situation? And I can stay out of the dualism of right and wrong and good and bad and victim and victor, rise above the battlefield, rise above it, and just say, I can be a servant of harmony. How do I serve balance? How do I serve order? When I see things that are way out of whack, how can I be a servant of going, how do we find balance here? How do we get back into equipoise, into equilibrium? How do we get back into that place of order? I find that much more nuanced and a lot more effective and interesting when I look at the challenges in life. Where's harmony? So Charles Fillmore talks about the law of divine creation, which is the logos, produces order and harmony, and it comes into perfect thought. The law, the divine law, it puts things first. It's the rule of action. All things outpicture. When we're attuned to the Christ energy, all things outpicture into harmony. So I'm going to read, in the beginning was the Word. We've heard this many times. I'm going to replace the word, logos, with harmony. Fillmore says that's what it is. In the beginning was harmony. Harmony was with God. And order and harmony was God. Not something that God makes. It is the divine essence. Order and harmony in life. All things come into being through harmony. And without harmony, things just can't come into being. And what has come into being through harmony is life. And that life is the light of all peoples. I would say all nature, all essence, the whole cosmos. The light shines in the darkness, but darkness does not overtake harmony. Sounds different now, doesn't it? This idea of harmony. You know, I want to give you a piece of what I call the Tao. And by the way, one reason I love to go plug into Tao Te Ching, it's from the other side of the world. It's even more ancient than Christianity. And, you know, it's 25, maybe 3,000 years old. But what I love about it is because it's not so, a lot of the words I hear in the West, I've heard them my whole life, and they start to lose their shock value to me, their interest, because I've heard them too much. So one reason I love to explore like the Tao Te Ching or something in like, you know, Hafiz or Rumi, and you get the great Sufi poets, or, you know, some Buddhist, different parts of the sutras, and, you know, because then I can hear a deep spiritual truth from masters that aren't in the tradition that I grew up with and that I know so well. And so maybe it'll spark a way of thinking that I've missed. It alivens. I can go back and read this piece of harmony. And the reason I read it that way is because I read the Tao and I went, oh, wait, I see something here that's the same essence that the masters would teach. This is the Tao Te Ching from 39. In harmony with the Tao, and by the way, if you want to replace Tao with in harmony with harmony, the Tao is oftentimes known as one interpretation as the way. You know, it could mean a path, like the way, a physical way, or it could mean, well, that's the way we do it. That's the way of prosperity, of happiness, of joyfulness, of completion, of wholeness, of transformation. That's the way. So, I mean, if I try to define it, it's wrong. That's the beauty of the Tao. If I try to define a lot of things about God, I'm probably wrong. We're exploring these concepts and how they settle in our hearts to see what we might find. So we'll just be open to that resonance. So in harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth is solid and full. All creatures flourish. When we're in harmony, all creatures flourish. Content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. I need to say that again. In the harmony, the creatures endlessly repeat themselves. Do you catch that? In harmony, there's patterns. In harmony, there's rhythms that can repeat. I could listen to those two harmonizing on that song over, and I didn't want it to end. Talk about harmony. Whatever the words were, that was harmony. Yeah, and it can go on, and just the patterns repeat, and you can move around, but you know it. Yeah. However, if a person interferes with the Tao, the way, the pattern, the sky becomes filthy, the earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. Oops. Yeah. That's sort of like amen, only the other way. Oops. Yeah. The master, however, views the parts with compassion because the master understands the whole. Their constant practice is humility. The master doesn't glitter like a jewel. I'll say that again. The master's constant practice is humility. What did we say last week? If you want to be full, be empty. If you want to be clear, be broken. If you want to be straight, be crooked. Understand our humility in all this. The master doesn't glitter like a jewel, but lets themselves be shaped by the Tao. They're rugged and they're just as common as stone. Yeah. So the idea is to be in harmony. And the idea, as we heard from our teacher, our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, is like that. It is that harmony, and we can compare it to the logos. It's the power of the logos to create in patterns. You see the patterns complete. And so what I want to leave you with today, and we're going to do a little activity here in a second. We're going to lower the screen. Maybe go ahead and do that now. Is I want to share with you this is really fun actually, and ask you a question. When it comes to harmony and order, you can see order in patterns that are fruitful, patterns that we talked about. What if we're what kind of Christian? What if we're a practical Christianity, working? One of the things I loved about Unity when I came to Unity my first time is I said, what we're doing on Sunday helps me on Monday. Helps me on Monday. It's practice, it's metaphysical, it's stuff that a master would teach and said, I can use this to support my life to be full, to be complete. And so this is what we bring this material to say, how does the pattern work? And I can discover what patterns in my life lead to wholeness. Or what are the things I'm repeating that are leading? What was it? Filthy skies and extinct animals and Because the truth will tell. The outpicturing of the pattern will say, is this leading to life? Or is this leading me to a sense that, man, that is not working in my life? What's the pattern? What's the pattern? And what kind of, here's the fun thing. We talked about the scripture of the Tao, the great book of the Tao. We talked about the holy teachings from the gospel of Jesus, from the evangelist John. The other great teacher, the other great book that I love is the book of nature, the revelation of the divine through the book of nature. So I'm going to turn on some music, and there's some slides. And the slides are something that I think you might see, there's something about a pattern, order, and harmony in nature. I think you'll recognize it. And what I want to say this first time, we're going to look at these slides 3 times. There's like 15 slides. They take 10 seconds each. Is this first time, just look at these slides and ask yourself, what do I see? What sense of wholeness and order and harmony do I notice? And how does it make, what happens to me? How do I feel? How do I feel when I see it? So J. Scott, if you'd be so kind, you can just start and hit play. Let me ask, what pattern did you see? Yeah. Giving, oh really? Oh, beautiful, giving and receiving. Oh my God, I didn't see that, thank you. Like it gave in and then it goes out again. Oh. Yeah, oh beautiful. What else did you see? Yeah, Rosemary. Symmetry. Circular and symmetrical and patterned, yeah. What else did anyone see? Anything different? Yeah, Dyann. Oh, moving inward. So you saw a sense of moving in? Or did you see a sense of moving out? Which one did you see? Both. Yeah. Yeah, right? And what else? Anyone else? Yeah, Jeremy. Spiraling to the center and unity. Yeah. Oh. Say the last part in the constant of both. Yeah. Coming in, going out, the Fibonacci, yeah. It is the Fibonacci, by the way. The pattern of the universe. Right. A ram's horn, a shell, a hurricane, a universe, a galaxy, an ear. Yeah, you can trace the ear. So here's the fun part of this. And I'll tell you a story. We'll save you the math. So half the people here will go crazy how cool Fibonacci is, and the other half will go, stop. Don't do math to me. But that's who we are, our personality types. But if you want to know the math, come see me after. It is so fascinating that this curvature, whether you saw it going in, or whether you saw it going out, or maybe you saw both, the way it works is so consistent in things that are micro all the way to the universe. Pattern, order, the divine. What was the quote from Fillmore? The divine presence says, I am out picturing in divine order, and that is the harmony of the universe. Yeah. Unity and harmonic force. Unity and universe. Yeah. Unity in the universe, yeah. Yeah, universe. And we talked about this maybe the last couple weeks. The Greek word for cosmos is what? It's harmony. If you were in ancient Greece and they said, well, looking at the cosmos, what you would hear in our words is, we're looking at harmony. And we use it as sort of a scientific term, but it means harmony. The cosmos means harmony. This repeated patterns, and how fruitful and how fecund it is, and how it creates. And not only that, if you do the mathematical sequence, there was a kid I read in the Good News Network, because that's the news I want to read now. Good News Network, and there's Eco News Network, and all these different ones. A young 13-year-old went out and noticed this pattern, looking up in the shape and in the mathematical principle of an oak tree. So he said, wow, if that's the pattern in nature, this pattern that you were seeing, that must be the optimal way to do things. So he took these 10 little solar panels, and he made just a piece of PVC pipe, and he put the solar panels in such a way that would mimic an oak tree. And then next to it, he put another little 10 solar panels, and he lined them up like in rectangle, like you'd put on a roof. Then he sat them out in the sun, and he measured the volts. Guess which one got 40%, almost 40% better? Was the one that mimicked nature. Because the divine knew what the divine was doing. Let's optimize. So what does that tell us about looking at nature, seeing the patterns? Chaos is not what the Tao. Even you go, well, there's chaos theory. Even the chaos theory, when they map the lines, they're beautiful, consistent figures that come into a pattern. Okay. So we're going to trump the music and we're going to show it again. The first time I asked the question was this. When you looked at it, what did you notice and what did you feel? This time, now we're in this energy of seeing patterns. as you look at these patterns in the slides, the question for you is, what is a pattern in my life that I can say, that's working for me? I'm gonna really embed that into my practice. I see it work. How do I make that a pattern? How do I come into harmony? How do I get consistent? Or you might see something, you go, that is really disharmonious in my life. Maybe I'll find a different way. So just as the pictures show you, ponder this. What might I want to see as a harmony, a pattern in my life that brings me harmony? And what might I want to do to make sure that's really concretized, that I'm aware of it and it's working for me? Does that make sense? Okay, J. Scott, if you'd play it again. Anything come up for you? Some pattern you want to see? I need that pattern in my life. You don't have to share if anyone wants to. Give you a minute. Yeah. Movement. Oh, say more. Movement and growth. Yeah. So in some ways, can I just play on that? It's like the cycle out is growing. And if we try to stop growing like, I'm fine, I'm good. Does it work? It never stops. Yeah. Did you hear? She said the snail, you don't have to, the past and the future, it's going along with you. Yeah, you can't shake it, can you? Yeah, that's really true. Yeah. But the other part of what Linda Martel-Whitsett talks about in this idea of order is that and I've mentioned this, there's harmony and there's adjustment. Am I off? Am I on? Also, there's this sense that it keeps spiraling, and there's the force of evolution. To your point, it is not ever going to end. It's this ongoing evolving. And we've talked many times, Jonathan talks about this, the idea of transcend and include. So now we move past in the next, but we never let go of what's good and has supported us. We transcend and include, and we transcend and we include, and then pretty soon we've included, and we have more in our storehouse to choose from, more experience, more contemplation, more sense, and then we transcend that and we continue to evolve. Yeah, a continual evolution, and this is the order. And this is just one kind of order. The universe is God order, man. So let's use the book of nature, this holy scripture of nature, that teaches us about the profundity of staying in these orders and these harmonies that work not only in our physical life, in our habits, but in our consciousness. Find that order in our consciousness. And we know we're in harmony. And we feel it. I'm a little disharmonious right now. The heck? What's going on? And we find our way back to that harmony. So we're going to look at the slides one more time as a way to end. And this time, as you think in terms of a harmony, I want you to just look at them and to yourself, say a prayer. Just say a prayer. It could be something like this. I now affirm and I welcome divine harmony, divine order, in all ways and in all forms in my life, in all expressions, and all things that I am wanting to do, and any new project that I want to attempt, and my relationships and my work and my projects, and any kind of piece of art, any kind of relationship with parents or children or spouses or friends or people. And I say, whatever way, I affirm order. And I bring order and I allow order into my life. Yeah. Your prayer could be about evolution. New things are coming. I allow them. I welcome them. And I allow them to expand my life. It's your prayer. So the slides take about an hour and a half. We'll go through them one more time. And just sink in with your prayer for order and harmony. Did they? Hour and a half? I did, yeah. This time they go much longer. How about a minute and a half? It's not a long prayer. Okay, Jay's got one last time. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth, solid and full. All creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. However, when a person interferes with the way, the Tao, the sky becomes filthy and the earth becomes depleted. The equilibrium crumbles and creatures become extinct. The master views the parts with compassion because the master understands the whole. The constant practice is humility. They don't glitter like a jewel. A master lets themselves be shaped by the Tao, by the way, by the harmony, as rugged and common as stone. Put your hands together. We all know the prayer of protection. Most of us know that. We're going to say the prayer of protection 3 times. We're going to use the word me, then we're going to use the word us, and then we're going to use the phrase all of it. You ready? The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And the light of God surrounds all of it. The light of God enfolds all of it. The power of God protects all of it. And the presence of God watches over it. Amen. And so it is, and all is well. There's food in the other room, but if you'd be so kind, let's just leave in peace. Let's just leave in quiet. And so it is.